So hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Codersarts. So in this series of episode, we talk about or we do some practicals on different topic of the Python. So in today video, we are going to learn what are the practical applications or practical examples of Python hands-on on object-oriented programming. Okay, so object-oriented programming. I think I'm not going to explain more about the object-oriented programming concept, but moreover we are going to do here all the practical aspect of the object-oriented programming, like classes, object, what are the different things, attributes and functions, and what are the different getter, setter, all the things are available. So what are the practical applications like inheritance, polymorphism, so how these things we can perform. So basically we are going to do all the practical. Okay, so one by one. So before going to actual writing your code for any other example, so first let's try to understand what is the class. So class in any programming languages, or not even the Python, so class is a normal blueprint for creating objects. It's a provide a mean for bundle of the data, like bundle data and the methods function into a single logical unit. So what is meaning of blueprint? Okay, so let's first try to understand what is meaning of this blueprint. So you can see on this screen, so you can see I have added one images in this screen, so you can see. So imagine you are planning to build a house, and before you start with the actual construction, you would have architecture design, a detailed plan of the drawing of the houses, just like this you can see. So before going to actual construction, this type of design are required. Okay, so then you're going to do actual construction. Okay, as you can see, this plan would show the layout of the rooms, placement of the doors, where should be windows, and the electricals and plumbing lines and so on. So this all detailed plan is known as the blueprint. Okay, so the blueprint itself is not the house, right? So because it's only a representations or guide that a builder should use to construct the actual houses. So with the help of same blueprint, builder can build the multiple houses. Multiple houses can be built using the same blueprint, but each houses one constructed stand its own and have its own unique characteristic, like colors of the walls, type of curtains, and the mixers, materials, and interior outerior design. Okay, all the things. Okay, so maybe different colors. Okay, you can do like that. So even though the structure design is the same, so with the same structure design we can do lots of things, right? You can make some customizations, colors, some decorations, like that. So this is called the blueprint. Similarly, in term of data, what is called blueprint? Okay, so blueprint in term of data, or simply classes in programming, where we especially manage all the especially we try to manage data and some operations inside a single logical unit. I think I have already explained. You can see a class is a blueprint of creating classes. It's means to bundle data and method attribute in the methods into a single logical unit. Okay, so then after we can say it's especially in programming languages, especially in object oriented programming language, a class acts as a blueprint for creating objects. Okay, so let's consider a database, like talk about in term of data. So in term of database of the employee, let's suppose the employee database. An employee database, or maybe each employee can have certain attributes, like it might name, age, designations, okay, designations, let's say suppose salary. It might be anything, not anything I'm saying, it might be more. I'm just writing some of them. So you can see these are the normal, or maybe if we already know employee table, so you can see from here. Okay, so let's consider something like this. So you can see this is the our table here, and we can write here name. Okay, and this might be age. Okay, and then might be okay, so designations. Okay, and if again want to add some more value, let's try it one. Okay, so let's add here salary. Okay, so you can see this is also the structure of blueprint. Still there is no any data here, right? There is no any data. So whenever filling any data, so that data acts as a objects that we'll discuss later. Okay, so especially we are learn what are the meaning of blueprint in the with the help of one two real life example. One is how building the houses. So what are the constructor design or drawing is called the blueprint. In the term of data, this format of data, this fashion of the data where we are giving options to store the data, okay, and in this format. Okay, so this is one. More especially we are going to discuss in how to create classes, how to create objects. We'll try later. Okay, but normally just I will try to explain what is the meaning of blueprint. Okay, fine. So actually how we can create classes. Okay, so before, so normal definitions, if you go to the practical part, normal definitions of creating classes is this one is keyword like class, and then you have to give class name, and inside this you have to pass other different statement. So statement might be any functions, any attributes, okay, and any others you know, expressions or anything. It could be most probably data and the function, everything are handled with two things. You know, you cannot assign any constant value if they are not comment. Okay, so either you have to use some variables and store some values, or either you have to use some you know, functions, or inside that functions you can you know, block, use some you can use the group of a statement, you know, to you know, create a block of code like that. Okay, so it's like that. So this is meaning of blueprint, and this is meaning of and this is the syntax of creating classes. Okay, so now let's understand how we can create classes. Okay, so I'm going to show you with examples. Okay, so let's create a first. We haven't created the classes. Okay, so let's first create classes. Okay, so I'm going to create a class, and then paste some coding block called Python. Okay, and so first we have to give the class, that is keyword name, and then write my class, or you can write any class called a student, and then after use colon. Okay, and then after you have to use, you know, like we want to store any value, you know, x value. Okay, and then store some value 20. Okay, or maybe you can write, or maybe you can use as a name, any data type you can create like name. Okay, so fine. So you can see still this is a very simple one. I just added one statement. Okay, so I was just following this one. Okay, so with the helping this, how we can create classes. So at least one statement should be inside this one to create classes. There is other way, should classes can be, you know, blank, or should be defined an empty classes or not. Yeah, that is possible. You know, there is many methods. With the help of that you can do. There is one keyword special symbol, that is if you want to define empty classes. Okay, so if you want to create empty classes, just have to use one keyword called pass. Okay, so pass is keyword. So without this we cannot create an empty classes. Okay, so if you want to create classes, you have to use this way, and if you want to create empty classes, you have to use pass. Not only pass, if you want to use any block of code, you know, like inside the loop, inside the, if you think some definition is required, you know, letters, just like, you know, we are do in abstract classes in Java, if you are already aware, or make sure, like currently you are not sure like what should be inside this one class. It might be any situations. Okay, so that time we use the keyword pass inside this class, and this will be, and there won't be any error. Okay, so this was only the classes with one single statement, and there is no any function inside this one. Okay, and similarly if you want to create some functions, okay, so how we can do that? You simply just use the, make sure indentation may be some issue. Okay, so def and write any functions like so, or write, use this one. Okay, and then inside this one we have to use this, and then call, just we have to call the name and it will work. Okay, so this is called attribute, and this is called function. So, and the whole thing is called classes. So how we can define classes? Like that we can define any number of object. So this is a very simple example. Okay, and how we can create objects? Just creating the objects. Okay, so maybe you have already my classes, so give any name like object 1 and equal to, is just you have to call the name of the class and then call the bracket. There is no any use of new or something like that. Okay, so now object is created. And similarly if you want to call any functions, so you can call objects 1 dot display. Okay, so whatever the function inside, you can see this one. Okay, so you can create classes. So this is the very simple syntax of how we can create classes and how we can create objects. Okay, so now we will learn more complex thing, like this is only single data type. Let's understand some more thing, like how we can create constructor, how we can add more data, and some other calculations to perform on the data. Okay, fine, let's see in the other video.